Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and Nightfall Season of the Witch intel. And in this video, I'm going to be taking you through every single Nightfall and GM cheese known for this season so that you can get your Conqueror Seal or Gilded in under 8 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 Nightfall content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel, and when we reach 100,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away an Xbox Series X. Also, if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll have a secret hashtag you can leave in the comments section to be entered into the next giveaway a second time for this video. And remember, those secret hashtags, they stack between all videos. So if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course, do it again. So we're going to be starting things off with the Moon Psyops Battlegrounds, as it actually is this week's GM. Fairly straightforward. There's just going to be a lot of enemies, but the two places that I think will give people the most trouble is this room. Just make sure that you head over to the right side of the room and use Well of Radiance, but make sure you plant your Well Sword behind those two boxes so that none of the enemies actually break it. Otherwise, that room should be fairly easy. And the boss room, which actually has a very easy cheese that's not too dissimilar to some other ones that we're going to see later on in this video. This one, I think, is the most unique. As of all the battlegrounds, this one actually allows you to get up on top of the map and mitigate a majority of all the ad damage. Not completely, you will still need some Well of Radiance up here, but you have fairly free roam of most of this area, which is pretty unique. We're going to head over to the Europa Heist Battlegrounds now, and very similar to the Moon, we're going to use these pipes on the right and left side of the map to stay out of damage range from the boss as well as most of the ads. Keep in mind, though, that the boss damage can actually track you a little bit, so even though you're not actually in line of sight of the boss, you can still get hit by them. Now, most people like to stand on this right side, but there's actually ways that you can stand in the back side as we were on the Moon. Those pipes still exist. You can't go up on top of the map like you did on the Moon, but you can still stand on the back ones. You can also traverse the entirety of this map, 360 degrees, on the outside of the actual battle arena if need be. Keep in mind there are turnback barriers back there. If you stay on one of them for too long, you will be warped back into the actual entrance, which really won't do anybody really any good. As you can see, I get adjoining allies here. But there are a few places that you can still stand if you're just trying to completely stay out of damage and just be a last-minute revive for your team. Otherwise, hiding out under the stairs on the right side is probably the best course of action for a lot of players, especially towards the later phases of damage. If you're into the last phase of damage on the boss, that's another good place to just hide out, and remember to plant your wells underneath the stairs so that your sword from the well doesn't actually get broken by any of the ads as well as the boss. And there will be a fair few champions that just spawn right on top of you when you are overneath the stairs. So keep that in mind as well. But as you can see here, you can completely go 360 degrees all around the map, but you will get a few joining allies if you stay too low or on specific spots for too long. Now, you can just run right across and jump to this area that I'm going here, but if for any reason you need to go back and forth from the front of the map to the back of the map without actually running through the middle of the battle arena, this is how you do it. Now for the Mars Heist Battlegrounds, which in my opinion is the longest and most difficult Heist Battlegrounds, there's just a couple of things you're going to want to know for the slowest sections, which are undoubtedly the first section where you have to ignite all three of the towers and, of course, the boss. So for the very first section, the one thing that you want to do is completely ignore towers A and B and just run directly for C. Now this can be done as a solo player or with a group, but essentially you're going to shoot the hive gunk off of C and then hide out of bounds slightly. Now you're not really out of bounds, you're more just off to the side of where all the ads are going to be spawning, but you're going to be far enough away from where the ads spawn where they're not really going to notice you and they're not going to think you're there. So long as you stand over here, C tower will autocomplete, and you can use varying degrees of that exact same method on the B tower as well as the A tower. The B tower, it works really well. You can actually just stay in the same spot. But for the boss, there is a sequence of cheeses that you're going to use. One, as soon as you enter the boss room, make sure that you and all your teammates stack up into this tower on the left side. Now, the reason you want to go to this one versus the right side is this one has a cubby hole that's facing away from where all the ads are going to be spawning. And so long as the ads don't see you, they're not actually going to aggro you and they're not going to shoot at you. But the boss will still run over to that corner. Of course, the boss can't slam you and he can't shoot you. So for the very first phase of damage, so long as all of your teammates are in this cubby hole, you can just shoot down at the boss and get him through the first phase of damage very, very quickly. The next part, where you're going to actually have to deposit the 3 batteries, is going to be a little bit more difficult. You're going to want to run over to this corner. This is the left corner as you enter on the back side. So same corner as you would be standing on for the first phase of damage, but just in the back side of the room. And you're going to want to use your wells to hold out here while you deposit the batteries. Now, the reason you're going to want to go here is because, as you can see, the boss also cheeses out and gets stuck on this ledge and will not actually be able to hit you. So long as you're in this corner, all you really have to deal with is the ads and getting the batteries deposited. Once you deposit all 5 batteries, run back to the initial cheese spot where the boss will again join right underneath you, and you can just finish off the boss at your leisure. So long as you get one teammate back there, it will be very easy to complete. On to the actual strikes now. The most annoying one, in my opinion, is the Lightblade GM. Now, the 2 areas that I think catch the most players out, even if you do everything else right in this particular strike, is the bridge section that you see here, as well as the moth or forest section. Now, if you are going to be running this as a solo player, there's really only one option, and that is a hunter with Omnioculus. And if you are doing this in a fire team, please do yourself the favor and make sure that at least one member of your fire team is a hunter running Omnioculus. This is so that you can constantly refresh your invisibility and just make that whole section really easy and painless. Otherwise, you're going to be there for at least 2 or 3 tries without any success, just in my personal experience. For the boss, though, there is a fairly easy cheese in theory, though properly utilizing it can be a little bit more difficult. You're going to have one member of your fire team constantly jump back and forth from the outer ring of the boss arena to the inner platform while holding the boss's aggro. What this does is prevent the boss from actually shooting both you as well as the teammate that's holding the aggro, and he'll just continually jump back and forth, allowing you to do boss damage as well as take out the champions that will be spawning in. If done properly, it can be a fairly easy encounter, though, like I said, making sure that you maintain that boss damage can be a little bit daunting, and you probably want to make sure that you have that hunter with invisibility doing it. Things get a little easier for this Scarlet Keep strike, as this one has been around for quite some time, and there are several fairly easy cheeses known for it. However, the one that involved you running through the gate where the boss spawned in order to get out of bounds was patched about a year ago. There is another one, though, that still allows you to get out of bounds in the boss arena, mitigate all boss as well as ad damage, and though it's not the quickest way to complete a GM, it's certainly one of the safest. However, the other cheese that I would want to discuss is for the actual elevator section. you can simply use any sitting emote. In this case, I was using the Dawn the Throne emote to phase through any of the 3 walls on the elevator. This will prevent you from getting caught out by a red bar acolyte, though you will still need to complete the other 3 levels of the actual elevator. But then once you actually get to the boss room, don't kill the 2 wizards right away. Instead, jump up this direction and into this little cubby where you see these spider webs. If you look directly above you, you can then jump through this hole and you will make your way out of bounds. At this point, you are actually above the boss arena, and so long as you stay hidden in one of the many spots that I'll show you, you will be able to stay away from all boss damage as well as add damage. Now, this is a guarantee that you will be able to complete a GM in the Scarlet Keep. However, it will not be a fast one, as the thing that I think takes the most time is not the boss, but actually making sure that you clean up all the adds, as you cannot actually do damage to the boss until you clear out the wave of adds that spawn in between the actual boss damage phases. Now, that can be a little bit difficult because you will have to send one member of your fire team down to clear out at least 2 or 3 of them. If you bring the right kind of build, like stasis with the turrets, you can sometimes get through an entire wave of adds without actually having to jump down, because the stasis turrets will eventually kill all the ones that you can't see, but a lot of them do try to hide directly underneath where you're going to be standing. So that's just one of the things that you have to keep an eye out for when doing that particular glitch. Otherwise, it's a very easy one and pretty much a guarantee on the completion of a GM Scarlet Keep. And the last one, of course, is the Devil's Lair. Everyone's favorite farm, the easiest GM to complete this season, best farm all around for all endgame materials this season, as well as whatever that weekly weapon is. I've always hoped this season that we would get a Warden's Law week with the Devil's Lair, as it would just be an excellent farm. I don't think we're going to get it. However, a couple of things you do want to know for that first room: make sure that you stay behind the tanker in the back right corner as you enter that room. And for the actual boss area, hide out in the room to the left as you enter the boss arena. Remember, there is a small little spot in the back right corner of that room which actually voids all enemy aggro. So if you're trying this by yourself and the boss or the enemies actually come close or into the room, you can simply jump to that back right corner and they will all just vacate. But for the most part, doing this in a group, you're just going to want to hide out in that room and just get through the waves of enemies while trying to do as much damage to the boss as possible, and you'll get a very easy completion. And that's going to be it for all the information in today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. As I said before, you can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel, and we're going to be doing an Xbox Series X giveaway at 100,000 subscribers. And if you've watched till this point in the video, you can leave a hashtag Nightfall, or a hashtag Season of the Witch, or a hashtag Grandmaster Nightfall, or a hashtag Conqueror Seal in the comments section down below for another entry into that next giveaway for this video. And once more, I'm Wilhelm Scream. Of course, we will see you next time.